everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make these little bows. First you want to start out with some fabric. This here is kind of a sheer fabric. It does work, but I will say it is harder to work with. Something that's really nice to work with is this fabric here. It's like a satin. It's kind of thick. Here's a pink. These are really ideal. But today I'm going to use the black, and I'm going to use a print. Show you how the print will work. I have a couple patterns here, and these are just made out of cereal boxes actually. But you could use your Cricut, and you could cut circles out with the Cricut and then trace them on. You can also use, I've also used this circle stencil, and you just stick it right onto your fabric, trace it, and cut it out. It does not have to be perfect. So I will show you first, let's see, I will show you how we did that. So you just set it on there, and then you just take your marker and you trace around it, and as you can see, this circle is not, like I said, it's not a perfect circle, but that doesn't matter, and I'll show you why in a little while. So you just trace it over. I used a white opaque marker so you can kind of see it. It is easier on the colored papers, or the colored fabrics. So then you just cut this out. Okay, so now you've got your circle, and for time's sake I've already cut these out. Now these are all the different sizes right here. Alright, so the next thing you want to do is you need a votive candle, or a small candle of some sort that you have access to. And by access to, I mean that you can get into the flame fairly well. And is what you want to do is you want to take your fabric and you want to get the edges so that they're sealed, so they're not going to fray on you. Now if you have the fabric good side up, it'll curl up and in, and that's kind of what you want. So you just kind of go around like this. Every once in a while it'll catch fire, that's okay, you just kind of blow it out and start over. Now I guess it is time consuming, and like I said, this fabric here is a little delicate, so you do gotta be a little careful, and you don't want to let it sit there very long. You just kind of run it across the top. You can see the edges. I don't know if you can see the edges, but they're melted. Looks really nice, actually gives it kind of a sealed off, shiny, shimmery finish. Okay, and you can see how it's starting to take its shape. See that? Okay, now the trick to making it look all crinkly like this is actually to go in with the flame. Do you see how it does that? And you start to go down until it crinkles. You don't want to go too far because you will burn a hole right in the center. Just go down a little. And you just kind of do that throughout the whole entire circle piece of fabric. You can go down towards the center, the edges. And you know, it's a personal preference. Sometimes, you know, you might want to do a lot of crinkle, and other times you might just want a little bit of crinkle. So we'll go ahead and leave that one for now, and we're going to move on to the printed. So we've got the print side up, and this is actually a different kind of fabric than this. This is more of like a sheer, and this is more of a like a satin. It's really soft. So again, we're just gonna melt the edges. Try not to catch anything on fire. Like that. Okay, and see how it folded up the edges again? Now we want to make it a little crinkly, and this is a little harder because you can't see through it. You can't see where the flame is. So you really got to watch careful when it starts to wrinkle up. You want to pull it away. Some of these back ones, if you do accidentally burn a hole in them, they might be covered if it's on the middle, and you would never even notice, but okay, so now we've got our second layer, and you just want to go through and do it again, and you don't have to, you know, here I did every other one. This one I made completely black and I didn't make it as big. This one's all blue, and it's smaller than the big one, but it's bigger than the small one, so it's kind of, you know, that middle size. Okay, so now we have all the pieces together except for this one, and you'll notice that this one is rather small, so I tend to not want to burn my fingers, so I just take my tweezers and just lightly run it over, and you see how it kind of crinkles it, so you can do that. Alright, so now we have our bow. Now we want to poke a hole in the center, so just, you know, a paper piercer will work because the fabric's usually pretty delicate, and I just line it up the way that, you know, I would want it. I just go like that, and then we just kind of force it through the center. Alright. Then you want to get a brad of some sort. Today I'm going to choose this little gem like brad. There, you can use pearl brads or the sparkly brads or a plain brad, completely up to you. So then you just stick all the pieces together. And you just adjust it until it's, you know, where you want it to go, and if it's not in the right spot, then you can just move it. Okay, so then you close the brad, and normally you would want to, you know, I would think you'd want to use like a black piece of felt. Today I only have this little white piece of felt, but just what you want to do is you take the felt and you fold it in half, and you just cut a little tiny slit there and a little tiny slit right next to it. So when you open it, you can see that. Then you want to take your glue and you're going to just glue around the felt. I'm using a quick dry adhesive. Works really well, but you know, you could use any type of glue. So you want to take your felt and you want to just stick it on the back. Once it dries, it should dry clear. And then you get these little clips, and I got mine at the local beauty supply store. I think it was a couple dollars for like 10 or something like that. So then you can stick the little clip through the little slits in the back of the felt, and once that dries real well, you will have a hair bow. So the possibilities are endless as to the design and the, you know, the shapes and sizes and whatnot. So I hope you enjoy and make yourself a bow.